Yeah, LAPD, now that he's off the freeway, they don't want to give him that distance that they were giving him to play with earlier. Now they're much closer because once he's on a residential neighborhood, in a residential neighborhood like this, the dangers are really increased. You know, with freeway traffic the way it was, wide open like that, he really wasn't posing a major danger. Now here he is in oncoming lanes of traffic now on surface streets. So LAPD closing in, getting really close to him, and now he's showing much more aggressive driving here. So a willingness to put other lives in danger here as LAPD closes in, and sure enough, you see that night sun once again. They don't want to let him get too far here because now that he's in this neighborhood, he poses a risk, especially with driving like that. If he's going to start crossing over the paint like that, they can't. They just can't risk it. They got to get him, eventually into custody here. So they're going to do everything they can to bring this to an end, and that includes a pit maneuver if he slows down. Right now, he's doing 35 miles per hour. This is prime pit maneuver driving conditions right now, especially with such few cars on this roadway. You've got 4 lanes with not much traffic in the area. At some point, a watch commander is going to give the go-ahead for a pit maneuver, and it's probably just a matter of time. Now, he's again circling this neighborhood, and really in the last 5 minutes, this is the first time we've really seen him just kind of sticking to residential streets. He's really, I think, pretty familiar with this part of the valley.
Yeah, turning right here onto Fillmore Street off of, I forget what street he was on before, on Arleta. Now, yes, you see him kind of winding further and further into this residential neighborhood, so it does indicate that he is maybe familiar with this and maybe
it's a dead end.
Footpath.
It's a dead end.
Dead end street. Here we go.
Dead end. Here comes. Driver's side door open. He's going to jump out here. He made a run for it. Now the truck is going. He's running. Just jumped the fence, jumping into somebody else's backyard here. It's going to be a foot pursuit, but the LAPD is pretty far behind him here. It's going to be a tough task for LAPD here, but the chopper.
Wow.
Okay, this guy thinks he's Spider-Man. He's now climbing the streets onto a roof of a building.
Wow.
LAPD's airship overhead here with the night sun shining a light on him.
Chris,
but he's posing a challenge here for LAPD.
We just want to, Chris, sorry, just a quick programming note. We're going to have to go to Jimmy Kimmel, but we want to let our viewers know that we'll continue our coverage on ABC7.com and on our ABC7 Facebook page. So we'll continue to stream this live. Didn't mean to interrupt, but here's Jimmy Kimmel for those staying on ABC7.
And we are still live here on Facebook Live, where this pursuit now has gotten much more dangerous for any residents in this area, where this guy has now gone into someone's backyard. We don't know if he got into a house. There's an overhanging roof there, so we don't know where he is right now. The night sun, as you see, is illuminating it. If we can get the SkyMap 7 technology going right now, we can tell you exactly what street this is. This is Barty Avenue. The 10,000 block,
Fillmore, yep.
Barty and Fillmore in Pacoima. There were dogs, some pretty big dogs, in the yard adjacent. I don't know if they're in this particular yard. I don't know if this guy knew where he was going. You see LAPD officers with their guns drawn, looking for this guy right now.
Yeah, I think he heard that dog barking and went definitely in the opposite direction into the other person's backyard. It looks like he's hiding out now. You can see a couple of dogs on the right-hand side of your screen, and that house, that gray roof there, I think he's on the property of that red roof. LAPD appears to believe the same thing. Fortunately, they were able to get into position on the opposite side of that cul-de-sac that he ended up in. And so even though they weren't able to chase him on foot and start climbing those walls like he was, they are waiting for him on this side. And so now it's a game of hide-and-go-seek for the most part.
Okay, so here we are about a minute after the pursuit ended in Pacoima. Ended in a footbail, the driver exiting that silver Dodge pickup truck and making a run for it. And now we're seeing an officer opening a gate and scaling a wall.
Yeah, officers now entering this property, and they are also forming a perimeter around this neighborhood as well. So they're going to form as tight of a perimeter as possible so that if he does decide to continue trying to make his way through this neighborhood, he's not going to get very far. There he is. Looks like they are